A very good noon, dear students. Welcome back to the class and continuing with the chapter The Enemy. I know we have taken a long time for this chapter, but this chapter is really very long, lengthy, and we are covering it line by line, so that's the reason it's taking time. Okay, so in my yesterday's video we have covered till here. Today we have to start from then quickly. So I told you yesterday that finally Dr. Sadao he addressed the patient as his friend. He said no, when he was talking, he was having a habit to murmur himself, and he used to do the operation, and he used to get engrossed in the operation. So he addressed his patient as my friend, and he called the injured man my friend, and at that moment he really forgot that this man was not a friend but an enemy. So now we have to start from then quickly. Let me read first. Then quickly, with the cleanest and most precise of incisions, the bullet was out. The man quivered, but he was still unconscious. Nevertheless, he muttered a few English words. Precise means, dear students, accurate. Incisions means surgical cuts. Quivered means shivered or trembled. Muttered means spoke. So Sadao, he was quick. He made a few surgical cuts on the body and removed the bullet. The man trembled in pain but remained unconscious. He spoke a few words in English, which were an expression of the pain that he was experiencing. Guts, he muttered, choking. They got my guts. Sadao, Hannah cried sharply. Hush, Sadao said. The man sank again into silence, so profound that Sadao took up his wrist, hating the touch of it. Yes, there was still a pulse, so faint, so feeble. Feeble means weak. Okay? But enough if he wanted the man to live, to give hope. Though that pulse was very weak, but that was sufficient enough as a ray of hope for a man to survive. Guts means, it is an informal word, beta. Guts is an informal word for bravery and determination. Profound means very great or intense. Pulse, you all know, heartbeat. And feeble, I told you, weak. The injured man choked and said, guts. They got my guts. He meant that he was brave and courageous, and the Japanese army would have a tough time while punishing him. Upon hearing him, Hannah cried out to Sadao. Sadao hushed her to keep quiet. The man became so quiet that Sadao held his wrist to check his heartbeat, whether he is alive or he is dead. He was checking if the man was still alive. His pulse was there, although it was very weak. Sadao thought that it was enough for a person who had a desire to live. There was still hope that the man would survive. But certainly I do not want this man to live, he thought. Sadao was sure that he did not want the man to live. Again, through this, the writer is showing the conflict, the confusion, the state of mind of Dr. Sadao. He was operating that patient also to make him all well. At the same time, he was thinking that this man should not live. No more anesthetic, he told Hannah. He turned as swiftly as though he had never paused, and from his medicines he chose a small vial. From it filled a hypodermic and thrust it into the patient's left arm. Then, putting down the needle, he took the man's wrist again. The pearls under his fingers fluttered once or twice and then grew stronger. Vial means a small container, typically a cylindrical, and it is made of glass. We used it specially for holding liquid medicines. Vial means a small container, typically cylindrical and made of glass, and it's used specially for holding liquid medicines. Okay, especially the liquids which we fill in the injections. Hypodermic means needle, or you can say syringe or injection. Thrust means pushed, injected, and fluttered here means trembled. So, dear students, Sadao stopped Hannah from administering anesthetic. He said, "Stop giving it." He turned quickly and chose a small bottle from the medicines. He filled a syringe with the medicine and pushed the vaccine into the man's left arm. Sadao placed the needle down and held the man's wrist. The pearls shivered once or twice and then improved. So finally, there was an improvement in the condition of the injured man. "This man will live in spite of all," he said to Hannah and sighed. The young man woke, so weak, his blue eyes so terrified when he perceived where he was. Now we are on the next page. That Hannah felt compelled to apologize. She herself served him, for none of the servants would enter the room. Compelled means forced, and apologize means to feel sorry. Now see what's happening here. Sadao took a deep breath as he told Hannah that the injured man would live. He woke up. His blue-colored eyes were full of fright as he realized where he was. Hannah felt very sorry for him. She served him food as the servants refused to enter the room where he was kept, because all the servants, they denied. They said that we do not want to serve an English people, a white person, and that's the reason Hannah and Dr. Sadao themselves personally serving the patient. When she came in the first time, she saw him summon his small strength to be prepared for some fearful thing. Summon here means to gather. यहाँ पे summon का means is not a legal notice by the court. It means to gather, to muster some courage. So when Hannah met the injured man for the first time, when after his operation and he was fine and he get to know that where he was, she saw that the man was gathering some strength and he was full of fear. Now see, Hannah is having a conversation with this man. "Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid," she begged him softly. "How come you speak English?" He gasped. "I was a long time in America," she replied. She saw that he wanted to reply to that, but he could not. And so she knelt and fed him gently from the porcelain spoon. He ate unwillingly, but still he ate. So gasped here means to catch one's breath due to astonishment. जब आप बहुत ज़्यादा astonished feel करते हो, that is gasping. Knelt means to sit on your knees. That is the position, knelt. And then porcelain, it is you can say a white translucent ceramic, also called china. Bone china we say, used for making utensils, pottery. So that material. Hana now she said softly to the injured man, because he was feeling quite afraid over there, that where am I and what am I doing here. He was quite astonished, and Hana said that she said very softly to the injured man that he should not be afraid. He was astonished that she could speak English, because they were in Japan, and people, they used to speak Japanese. So that's the reason he was astonished, that how can this Japanese lady is speaking English. Hana replied that she had lived in America for a long time. The man wanted to speak further but was not able to speak. Hana fed him gently with a spoon made of porcelain. The man did not want to eat, but still he ate. Now you will soon be strong, she said, not liking him, and yet moved to comfort him. He did not answer. When Sadao came in the third day after the operation, he found the young man sitting up, his face bloodless with the effort. Lie down, Sadao cried. Do you want to die? He forced the man down gently and strongly and examined the wound. You may kill yourself if you do this sort of thing, he scolded. What are you going to do with me? The boy muttered. He looked just now barely 17. Are you going to hand me over? See, doctor is talking to his patient, and he is talking all related to his health condition, that why you are getting up trying to hold your face above, uphold your face, and that could be dangerous for you, because he was not having enough strength at that point of time. Whereas the man, the American prisoner of war, who has been mentioned here as a boy, he was thinking all different. He was thinking what next they are going to do with me. As Hana fed the man, she said that soon he would become strong, and she said so despite the fact that she disliked him. But still, as a human being, she was consoling him. She said that you will be very soon you will be more strong, but she still disliked him. The man did not reply to her. He was quiet. Sadao visited the man on the third day after the operation. The young boy was sitting, but his face was pale and weak due to the effort that he made while sitting. He was sitting, and he made some effort to push his body up, and in this effort he lost strength. Sadao screamed at him and ordered him to lie down. He said that the man would die if he stressed himself so much. Sadao forced him down and inspected the wound that he had operated upon. He scolded the man that he could die if he tried to exert himself. Exert means to do a lot of hard work, and to strain yourself, exert yourself. The boy asked Sadao that what would he do with him now. The boy was not thinking about his health. He was thinking about what Dr. Sadao is going to do next with him. It seemed that the boy was hardly 17 years old. He asked Sadao that would he hand him over to the Japanese army? For a moment, Sadao did not answer. He finished his examination and then pulled the silk quilt over the man. I do not know myself what I shall do with you, he said. I ought, of course, to give you to the police. You are a prisoner of war. No, do not tell me anything. He put up his hand as he saw the young man was about to speak. Do not even tell me your name unless I ask it. See, when the boy asked Sadao that what you are going to do with me now, Sadao did not reply instantly. he completed examining the boy and then put the silk quilt on him. Sadao said that he himself did not know what he should do with the boy. He added that he was supposed to hand him over to the police. He also disclosed that he knew that the boy was a prisoner of war. As Sadao saw that the boy was about to speak, he raised his hand to indicate him not to do so. Sadao asked him not to speak and not to tell his name also unless he asked him to do so. He said, "I'm not at all interested in listening your story. Do not tell me anything about yourself." They looked at each other for a moment, and then the young man closed his eyes and turned his face to the wall. "Okay," he whispered, his mouth a bitter line. Outside the door, Hana was waiting for Sadao. He saw at once that she was in trouble. Now see, Sadao and the boy exchanged glances. They looked at each other, they exchanged glances, and then the boy closed his eyes and turned his face towards the wall. He said "okay" in a low voice as he felt bitter by Sadao's words. Outside the door, Hana was waiting for Sadao. He saw that she was in some sort of a trouble. He could make it out that Hana was in some trouble. Now see, "Sadao, Yumi tells me the servants feel they cannot stay if we hide this man here anymore," she said. That's the problem. That was the trouble. "She tells me that they are saying that you and I were so long in America that we have forgotten to think of our own country first. They think we like Americans." Now see, Hana said to Sadao, as Sadao could make it out that she was in a trouble. And what was that trouble? Here Hana is telling that trouble to Sadao, and that Yumi told her that the servants would not stay with them if the American man lived there any longer. Means they do not want that the servants, they are denying. She told that servants are denying to stay any longer with this American man. She also said that Sadao and Hana had been in America for such a long time that they had forgotten their country's priority. Yumi and servants thought that Hana and Sadao liked Americans. Okay? "It is not true," Sadao said harshly. "Americans are our enemies, but I have been trained not to let a man die if I can help it." And Sadao reacted so harshly to this, and he said that this was not true. He said that Americans were their enemies. He had been trained in such a way that he could not let a man die because he is a doctor by profession and would help to save him in whichever way he could. That was what Sadao had done. So dear students, in today's video we are going to cover this much only. I will cover the rest of the portion in my tomorrow's video. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Read the chapters many times. Go read the chapters. These chapters are really interesting and they teach you some lesson finally. So better to read the chapters, practice your lessons on a regular basis, I'll meet you in my next video. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay positive. Bye bye.